Welcome to lesson number 15 of math. We'll be talking now about two-step algebra problems. In the last lesson, we did one-step algebra problems. And the really pleasant thing about two-step algebra problems is they're just two one-step algebra problems. You may have read that you have to reverse the order of operations, and that's kind of scary when you're just learning and memorizing the regular order of operations. However, it's nothing to worry about because it happens automatically. If you have a couple examples, the examples will show you better than any words can how to work two-step problems. So let's look at this one. 2x plus 3 equals 16. We will isolate the 2x here. Equal sign. 13 is already by the equal sign, so we leave it there. And we pick up this plus 3 and take it over to the other side of the equal sign, and it becomes minus 3. 2x equals 13 minus 3, which is 10. Now, that is an example of how reversing the operations takes care of itself. You don't have to memorize anything differently. You pick this one up, move it over here, change the sign, and you have accomplished subtraction before multiplication or division. It just happens as you work the problem. This is the simple way. Now this is multiplying, isn't it? 2 times x, because there's nothing in between. Therefore, when we move that 2 over to this side, it's going to be division. We keep the x right here, isolate it on the left side. We have 10, and instead of multiplying by 2, we divide by 2. 10 divided by 2, of course, will be 5. And now let's check it. See if we got it right. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 equals 13. No question about it. You know you got it right. If that does not check out, then it's back to the old drawing board, and you start all over again until it does check out. Now here's one that's a little more difficult to see. The division two-step problems are probably the hardest of the two-step problems. X over 7, which of course means x divided by 7, plus 3 equals 5. Okay? X over 7 equals 5 minus 3. X over 7, therefore, equals 2. Now we've performed the first part, and we just have a one-step problem left. X over 7 equals 2, and we need to isolate the x on this side of the equal sign, 2. And this was dividing by 7. Therefore, when we move it over here, it's multiplying by 7. 2 times 7, of course, is 14. Let's check to see if we got it right. 14 divided by 7 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So once again, you know you've gotten it right. There is much more to algebra than this, but this is all you need for passing most tests. And the reason for that is that recent high school graduates do not know a whole lot of algebra. So most tests are based on that, and that's why you don't need a whole lot of algebra in order to succeed. You will use geometry more in your daily life. If you're going to paint a room, you'll measure for the square feet. and look at the paint can and see how many square feet that covers. If you're laying tile, you'll figure the area of the floor, the size of the tile, and you'll know how much you need to buy. Same way with carpeting. If you lay the carpeting, your knees might be a little better off than if you lay tile, but both will require geometry. And algebra, you will not need and will not probably use quite as often as you do use the geometry. But this is the way you would handle a two-step problem, and it's doable. You can learn this right away. Thank you very much. That takes care of our two-step algebra problems.